Hello, I'm Keith Steinbaum, author of In Lieu of Flowers. The original idea for In Lieu of Flowers began with a conversation I had with my mother when she was about 97 years old, telling me a story that I'd never heard before about her father, my grandfather, who as an infant in Bucharest, Romania in 1898 was kidnapped by a member or members of the Roma community at that time. Had it not been for the fact that my grandfather's mother was a midwife for that Roma community, I would not be here today having this interview with you because someone, fortunately, recognized that my grandfather was the child of the midwife, and someone, fortunately, said, "You can't take that baby. That baby is the midwife's son." Well, that story, of course, it's one that I'd never heard, was so consequential to me that I couldn't get it out of my head. And I started developing a story that took place in 1920 Romania. Now, reason I did not have it take place earlier, when the year that my grandfather was kidnapped, was because I knew, looking ahead, that I wanted the story to end in 2017, Los Angeles, California, in an area of Los Angeles called Boyle Heights. In Boyle Heights, there's a cemetery called Evergreen Cemetery, which holds over 300,000 grave sites and is the largest non-denominational cemetery in the United States. I took a scene, a fictional scene, of course, at the beginning of the story of an attempted kidnap of a baby in 1920 Romania. And from there, I move on to a World War II scene that was taken from a actual World War II air raid to Romania called Operation Tidal Wave. And the final part of the story takes place in 2017 Los Angeles. The story means a lot to me, obviously for personal reasons, but while I wrote this story, much of it was written during COVID, and COVID, of course, brought out unfortunately, some real ugly stories, things such as racism, hate crimes, and I did admittedly have some emotional anger that I wanted to get out. This story allowed me to write and talk about things that are real, but will also became a good vehicle for writing ideas and characters for the story. Even though it's a supernatural thriller, I've written another supernatural book as well. What I like to do is take real life issues and combine them with supernatural ideas, which to me creates a synergistic effect because it allows the supernatural and the real issues of the day to work with each other and create what I hope to be a more engaging story. And this is what I hope that you would take from reading In Lieu of Flowers. I did some research on things such as Operation Tidal Wave. I did research on, there's a main character who's blind. I did research on the blind. I did research on homelessness because there's a couple of characters that are homeless. And of course, I wound up living in Los Angeles as I do. I actually wound up going to Evergreen Cemetery and walking much of the cemetery, which is approximately 70 acres. It was an incredibly moving experience, and it made for scenes that I wrote in the story to be more realistic. That's really much of what I wanted to tell you about as far as the story goes. Hopefully that you will find it to be a moving experience, an engaging, fun, supernatural thriller at the same time, and it allowed me to make special commentaries on ideas of life that are both enriching but also, quite frankly, hard to face. And as all of us see in our everyday lives, on things that are going on in this world and in this country that are upsetting. But I utilized all of this to create what I feel to be a story of reality, supernatural thrillers, a thriller combination. And again, I just hope that you enjoy it. Thank you very much.